Hello, welcome back. Still getting the hang of this driving the StreamYard here, so not quite as seamless as I'd like. We'll get better next time. Okay, so our next speaker is Soheel Chughtai, who works for IBM Software as an architect, I believe, or an engineer. I'm trying to remember now your title. I did have all my notes, so I just lost the browser page. An architect, engineer, makes things work. He does a bit of everything.
Makes things work. That's it.
So he's going to be doing a talk to us on the microphone and camera nodes. So without much ado, I shall hand it over to you. Thanks, Soheel.
Right. Hi there. Can I do a live check? Can you hear me?
Yes, we're all good.
Excellent. Thanks. Right. So I'm going to be. My name is Soheel Chughtai. I used to be an application architect, but I'm actually currently part of the DevX, the developer experience team. So I'm a developer advocate for IBM MQ, and when we're trying to add in some Node-RED stuff into MQ as well, hopefully we'll have a video out to show some of the exciting things we're doing there. But I'm going to start this talk with a demonstration. The reason why I want to start with a demonstration is that I want to use the camera and I want to use the microphone, and I'm already using it, so it can be sometimes a bit tricky when you're doing this. So hopefully here, I mean, the two nodes I want to be talking about, the microphone and the camera, they form a group with the file inject called the browser utilities. And I'll come to explain why we created these. But a simple demo of the camera node, for example, I can just take a selfie, and there you are. There's this picture. And that's actually been saved away as well. And that's how easy it is to get a picture, an image into your flow and the Babel. So maybe I could have been on the Japanese stream. No, I have no idea. I don't speak Japanese, so I don't know whether that was good or not, but I'm hoping it was. And maybe if I was speaking to a wide group of people. Now, this demo takes about a minute to run. So this is a multi-language demonstration. So once this is running, I'll switch over to my deck. That was Arabic.
Takže toto je vícejazyčná demonstrace.
Dies ist also eine mehrsprachige demostración.
Así que esta es una demostración de varios idiomas.
Così si tratta di una manifestazione multilingua.
Il s'agit donc d'une démonstration multilingue.
이것은 다중 언어 데모이다. Dus dit is een demonstratie met meerdere talen.
これは多言語のデモです。
Então esta é uma demonstração multilinguagem.
And this will be the final one, I think.
Så det här är en flerspråksdemonstration.
I talked over her then. But anyway.
这是一个多语言演示。
Sorry, I missed the Chinese one. So that's what I'm going to be doing is a demonstration, which I've already done. I'm going to give you a background as to why we created these nodes, what they are and how they were created, and also some of the issues we see, and maybe a call for action. It's open source, and it would be great to get some of the community to help us when issues are found to help us solve some of them. So let me just go into full screen in here. So the background. When we developed these nodes, I was the beta program manager for a whole series of machine learning based APIs, such as speech recognition and visual recognition. And that's really, I mean, if I'm looking at APIs, if you're a developer advocate, if you're a beta program manager for APIs, you're really a developer advocate. And because it's machine learning, we were getting interest from both developers and non-developers. And when they wanted to use it, it's speech recognition. You've got to get some speech to be able to recognize and decipher, and visual recognition. You've got to get some images, capture some images to be able to recognize. And identify, character recognition, facial recognition, all this kind of stuff that visual recognition APIs promised. So what we wanted to do was to be able to capture the images and voices so that we could feed them into the APIs, feed them into machine learning, feed them into AI capabilities. And it's all possible with JavaScript. It's not too difficult, but it's not trivial and it's not repeatable. And you have to go and learn some incantations. So that's the word. Incantations, that have been created by WebKit, browser WebKit, not gurus but priests. And you've got to make sure that you've recite them correctly so that everything works. And occasionally you might be able to work out how it's working as well. So it is not trivial, it's non-repeatable, and for non-developers, it's impossible. For developers, it's hard. And what it does is, if you're having to write the code to capture the images, to capture the voice, to capture sound, that's what you're concentrating on, and you're not concentrating on the usage of those. And that's what Node-RED provides. It's a provides a canvas for you to be able to reuse elements easily, and then concentrate on the big problem. There are a lot of small areas: speech to text, translate, text to speech, making playing sound and capturing sound have been done for you. You can actually go away and put that together as an application, maybe create some other capabilities, or create some other applications or usages of those capabilities. So we were sharing essentially JavaScript and HTML with everyone, and saying, this is what you've got to include into your template node, and include this, bring this JavaScript in, and it will work, and you can capture. And wasn't working. So I set up a workshop challenge, and these are all the contributors to just the browser nodes. There were other things that we created were created by other people, but these were the people that created the 3 browser nodes. In principally, it was Chris and Yassine. And the challenge I gave them, because I was the sponsor for the challenge, was to capture image and speech. They actually managed to capture videos as well, but we only wanted images. Feed those into the flow, so that anyone that needs to be able to use images or voice or sound in an application building on Node-RED, it's just a case of put it onto the palette, grab it from the palette, put it onto your flow editor, onto your canvas, and then it's working. So it saves time. And I was thinking at the time that it would become something like a web part. But Chris and Yassine had other ideas. So they created inject nodes. Now, this is a snippet of code from the
sorry, Soheel, sorry to dive in. I think we're still on your, I don't know if the slides haven't incremented. We're still on the main PowerPoint. I don't know if we're still seeing the title slide.
You're still only seeing the title slide?
Yes.
Let me end the show. So can you see the agenda one now?
It's not. I think it's sharing the wrong screen then, because we're just seeing the PowerPoint, slide editor. Okay,
right. So that's the title slide. That's the agenda. Can you see the agenda?
No, it's not changing. It's just frozen on the PowerPoint editor.
Right.
So let's remove you from the stream and add you back in, just in case it was. And I've got your desktop window. I wonder if that was.
I'm just going to
There we go.
minimize
Now
this.
it's moving at least. Yeah, now we can see it moving and things. I don't know whether that was StreamYard that froze or something. Maybe.
I don't know. So I won't go
Anyway,
into
it's moving
presentation
now.
mode. I'll just clip through them. Oh, by
Yep.
the way, this
Perfect,
was
that's working.
this was the image that I captured.
Yeah, we saw that the demo all worked. It was just when you went to went to PowerPoint.
Right, so you can see the background.
Yep, that's good. Yep, that's working.
Right, that's the background. This is the Y.
Yep.
Okay. I could go over those again, and this is the what. So as I said, the main contributors for those three nodes were Chris and Yassine. And the challenge that I gave them as the sponsor was to be able to capture image and sound, feed that into a flow through Node-RED, so that anyone that wanted to be able to use sound or images in an application, principally a Node-RED application, could do it very quickly, and they didn't have to be a developer as well. Anyone with a bit of business knowledge could come in and actually create something, and maybe even innovate. And at the time, and when I set them challenge, I was envisioning that they would be creating a web part, but they didn't. They created inject nodes, and there you can see the a snippet of code from the browser. So this is the start recording, and you'll see that it's actually using the audio context. So if you look up JavaScript audio context, you can find code very easily. But, you have to be able to put the same the right recipe together. Sometimes you might even be able to follow what's going on, but you can get that to work. And what they did, what Yassine and Chris did, was to use that to actually capture the image or the sound, because essentially they function in a very, very similar way, and then capture them as a blob. And now it's as a blob in the browser, and it's got to get into the flow. So to get into the flow, it's got to be passed into Node-RED running on the server, and they do that through and they did that through an HTTP request, and that gets injected into the flow. And the way it's done is you can have multiple instances. So if you noted on my demo, there were two different microphones, and what you could do, and this is what they had at the beginning, was that if you had two different microphones and you clicked on one, the output was sent to both, and both flows were initiated. And you don't want that. You want to be able to send the for example, the soundtrack to the right microphone, so it goes through into the correct flow. So over here you can see that last week we had 6,500 downloads. I mean, it's nothing compared with the number of downloads that Node-RED has, but this is quite significant. This week is it's tailed down, but on an average, it's about 6,500 if you go across. Sometimes it's a bit more, sometimes it's a bit less. It is open source. You can grab hold of the code, and the biggest challenge for us, or for me, is maintenance. Bump releases, catching up, staying with the right version of Node-RED, the current version of Node.js, changes in the browser support, and when breaking changes happen, it becomes quite difficult to to work out what's going on, and then you have to go through and do some testing, and some code changes, and a lot of the time, because it's changes in how the WebKit works, You have to go in and again go back to the WebKit priests and find out what they've done, what changes in the strict incantation you need to make, see if they work, and then just try them across browsers. So this works on Safari, works on Chrome, works on Firefox, and just to make sure that it still works across all those browsers, it can be quite a headache. So one of the great things is if you do find something and you can fix it as well, that would be much appreciated. And maybe some of the other features. As I said, when the guys were actually developing it, they did actually have a mechanism to actually capture video, but we decided not to pursue that because of the way we capture the blob and we send the blob through an HTTP request. Now, if everything is running on your browser, on your own machine, like I've got Node-RED running locally now, it's not such a problem. But if you're sending this, a massive video recording through HTTP to the server, there can be quite a big latency. So that's why we didn't do it. So, but maybe we could add that in the future. And that's brought me to an end. I think I'm a bit early. I spoke too fast. Sam?
That's okay. Sorry, catching up. Caught me out of my head. Get my headphones in. Cool. No, that's cool. We're where are we for time? So okay, yeah, we got about 10 minutes before the next speaker. So I'm just looking. I don't think we've had any specific questions on this recordings. But maybe if you want to go back to the demo. So I'm trying to think things that would be. So you showed the obviously the microphone, the camera nodes, they're using the get user media. So obviously you have to have the editor open to inject those. So these work through the editor if you wanted to run it. But it does mean that you can run it. So Node-RED can be running wherever, and it's just you can run Node-RED in the cloud and access them from the local camera is the camera of the machine that the browser you're using the editor on. Yeah.
This is exactly how it works. And also the file inject works in exactly the same way. So with the file inject, let's just put a debug mode in.
I didn't say, I'd missed this. I've seen the microphone camera. I don't think I've seen the file inject. It's quite interesting actually to me for something else.
So let's just join the two together. So again, actually, the interesting thing is I could inject an image. Let's do the
one you just took. It all gets a bit circular.
Yeah, I could inject an image into here as well. So let's go in there instead of here. If I deploy that again, the other file node that comes with Node-RED only works if this read file
so
node.
So yeah, that works off the local file system on where Node-RED is running.
Yeah, on your same machine, but the file inject works.
Upload, I guess.
Yeah, it works in exactly the same way. In that you go away and you pick a picture, same one, and it sends it through.
And it uploads. So it's a file upload node as much as an upload and an inject. Yeah.
But again, it works in exactly the same way, which is why the three nodes were grouped together.
So what? Presumably, I'm just trying to think what the limiting factor on the size of that upload is. That's going to be on the I think the Node-RED has a max payload size, max post size somewhere configured to a default, which is normally I think 5 meg by default off the top of my head, but you can obviously tweak that. So it's obviously going to be constrained by the maximum upload, but then I think that would apply to your to a REST endpoint or something as well. So
that's right. Yeah. So if I show you the code, so I'll show you the JavaScript for the camera node. You'll see this is where the image is being sent.
Cool. So yeah, so it's posting to a, but on admins, obviously, yeah, it's got to be, you've got to have you'll be logged into the editor, so it's a secured endpoint, if you like, for
exactly. Yes.
cool.
Yep. And yeah, and then it's got to be, you know, because it's going over there over HTTP into Node-RED, then it has to, yeah, be limited in terms of size.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So I'm just looking. So maybe I think we've got a question from Pablo about that, saying it's a bit buggy. Hang on, let's see if we can bring it on screen. If you're injecting, yeah. So if you're injecting a JSON, if you upload a JSON file, but it's invalid JSON, it fails apparently. So that's, I guess, is that the node or is that the?
Okay,
yeah.
so where are you injecting it into?
I think he's saying, sorry, with the file inject node. So if you upload it, I don't know. Yeah. So I'm saying, Pablo, if you upload a JSON file, does it doesn't output? Or I mean, if it's passing, the file inject node would be treating it as just a string, will it, as what it outputs, I guess.
Okay, let's see what it does.
You just need a JSON file to. Well, I think he said an invalid JSON file. So
okay, okay. If you send an invalid JSON file,
it shows an error in the browser console. Okay, yeah, that's the yeah.
Okay, right. Let's have a look, see what happens. If I can find a JSON file. There's a JSON file, my package JSON file.
Perfect. That's a good one to. So that's a valid, presumably is a valid JSON file.
Yeah.
And
that's what's come in.
That looks correct, like it's parsed it.
Yeah.
And that's it as a string. So that's coming, yeah, straight off the. So I can't quite see the screen, right? But yeah, no, so that seems to work. I think it's specifically, yeah. Now go and break the JSON file, put a comma somewhere.
You want me to break? Okay. Right. Let's find. I think this was the JSON file that it was grabbing, wasn't it? Oh gosh.
We've got mark it.
Yeah, it's the one with it's the one with no drag.
It was the package.json. Yeah, you don't really want to break your. Just make a.
I'm just trying to work out where that. It's not in here. That's the problem. That's looking somewhere else.
Yeah, chuck it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try that separately.
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely. I think so. He can go away and up. So I'm guessing. I mean, it should just be the file inject should be quite happy with it just as a string, and then if it's text or binary, it should just output whatever's been uploaded, and then it's up to the flow.
It gets captured as a blob and then gets just sent through.
I wonder if it's something in the message I suppose making the payload, whether it's message.payload is trying to parse it and make it parse it as JSON, and that's what's failing. So interesting. Oh well, there's definitely and I'm assuming it's on you've got the GitHub repo with issues, so we can for this project, have you? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a GitHub.
We can raise an issue.
Oh yeah, you can find it. So if you go to Node-RED flows.
The question is, let's see your scorecard.
Okay, that's in browser utility.
File inject, was it? Light dipping. Very contrib browser utils. That's your
scorecard is
okay. So yeah, you got the view GitHub. Yeah. So on GitHub, you should be the link to the issues there. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's two open issues.
Cool. Okay. So yeah.
Audio issue on Chromium and audio streaming. Audio. As well.
Interesting one. Yeah. Okay. Yes. But yeah, well, yeah, definitely. Maybe Pablo chuck an issue on there, or Soheel's going to look at it now. But yeah, I think I can understand what you. I'm going to go and have a play with that node this evening or something anyway. So
yeah, there's a whole series of other nodes that. I mean, if you go into this this group here, which is why the lettuce or the green water, as an in joke, is our symbol. But there's a whole series of things that we created. That get used as well.
Cool. Awesome. Okay. Well, we are. I can see our next speaker is ready. So perhaps we'll, unless there's any more questions, I'm just going to quickly look at the YouTube thread as well because there's a bit of lag otherwise. We'll wrap it up there. Obviously, when I ask the questions, we then have to wait a few seconds for the stream to catch up and see if there's anything from anywhere else. But some great comments. We say we've got just under 100 people on the stream now, so it's doing pretty well today. I'm pretty pleased with that. I think we peaked at about 120, obviously, for Nick's keynote and things. Again, all the talks are going to be recorded. I'm really hoping all the talks are recorded. It should be YouTube and StreamYard should be capturing them. So we'll do some editing and things and get those up as soon as we can. But okay, well, I'll say goodbye then. Thank you very much, Soheel, and enjoy the rest of your day. Cheers, bye.